Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and yes, Casey Anthony. I'm trying to get through these as quickly as possible. The next up is John Bradley, and his testimony was 2.5 hours long. Very boring, especially with the prosecution's questioning. It did pick up when Baez got up with his questions, but in all honesty, very boring. I don't find these testimonies very interesting. Like the cell phone towers and hits and all the computer stuff, it just bores me to tears, so it was a hard testimony to get through. I've condensed it down, so hopefully it all makes sense and we get to the point of it. So John is self-employed at a software development company, which is his own company. He's a former police officer from Canada. He has testified before after starting his company. He developed the, I think, is it Cash or Cashback program that Kevin Stinger used to find the deleted search file on chloroform. So in Kevin's, when he found that unallocated file, he needed to use John's program to extract what was in there. John was given a thumb drive and he copied it to his own computer and then handed the thumb drive back. All the searches that he comments on now are from the month of March. He cannot say when it was deleted. So when he looked at the file, in some of the searches, the word chloroform wasn't spelt right. It was spelt CHLORAFORM. So some of the searches that were on there were hand-to-hand combat, head injuries, another one about head injuries, middle meningeal artery, which I googled, and it's an artery in the head. Another search on ruptured spleen, chest trauma, internal bleeding, hypovolemia, which I googled again, and this happens when the body loses too much blood. It goes into hypovolemic shock. Other searches for MySpace and Facebook, chemistry of chloroform, how to make chloroform. Some of the searches found were bookmarked, and another one was a site called Instructables, household products, and another search for neck breaking. We do find out later on what they were about, which initially hearing those you think, wow, doesn't look good. So the cross-examination. Baez brings up about how much he's getting paid. Has he discussed how much he's getting paid? John says they have discussed with the state how much they're going to pay him, but to John, that's not the issue. He isn't bothered about the money. And Baez is now trying to say that being hired in this case is great advertisement for his business. So Baez finally gets to the point, and he's been to look on John's website, and John has a little post about him being called up for this case, stating his involvement in it. So, but John, he fights back and says, well, why not? I want to show that, my stuff's legit and it's being used and it's working. But John says he's not being inundated with phone calls either, so a mute point really. The first time a search was made for chloroform, the page was only looked at for 7 seconds until it was moved on to another search. The second time it was 1 second of looking time. Longer looking times were spent on head injuries, ruptured spleen and chest trauma than it was on chloroform. But one chloroform page was looked at for over 2 minutes. One page about chloroform was about someone who had a chloroform habit in the 1800s, and yes, I did Google this, and people did indeed become addicted to chloroform. The household product search was about making weapons out of household products. Now, you could really look into these, but I'm sure my search history, your search histories, all look a bit bizarre, especially when you're into true crime. There was also a blog looked at about zombies are coming. The neck-breaking page was looked at for nearly 2 minutes, and Baez asked if he knows if it's a kung fu website, which he doesn't know. I'm presuming it is, as Baez has brought it up. The word shovel was also looked at, and Baez asked him if he knows of a movie called Shovel, to which he says no. He also asked if he knows any other meanings to the word shovel, and again he says no. It makes me laugh. He annoys the crap out of me, but reading this back, he just makes me laugh. But when I'm sat taking notes, he drives me nuts. Baez asked why he wouldn't look into the websites of the links he'd found to provide better evidence, but this is sustained by the judge, and I'm sure he was only asked to extract the data from there, not to go into every single search and find out what it was. John cannot testify that someone is actually looking at these websites, which is true. The redirect, he also doesn't know if anything was printed from any of these websites. There's only so much you can get from a deleted file. Anything on a computer, it's not going to tell you if you printed something off or not. The recross, he was never given any printed out pages to do with chloroform when he was asked to extract the data. He had no other information other than what he was given, the thumb drive and the data file. Again, on the redirect, the data file was from the dates of 6th of March to the 21st of March 2008. So 2.5 hours I've put into 7.5 minutes. A lot of it was just going through each and every bit of his search and what he'd pulled up. So, it was a hard testimony. So, there we go. Chloroform was looked at, but you can't say who looked at it. And to be honest, we can all look at bizarre stuff now and again. So there we go. I will be back with more in the next video. Bye for now.